From where does Kundalini get the energy to change you? That's a great question, because Kundalini itself is invisible and you experience extreme transformation from the day Kundalini awakens in you, and it continues throughout your life. So from where it is generating so much of energy, and from where she is getting so much of energy for your change, you have to understand this question from experiential level. If you have experienced Kundalini awakening and you have experienced the depletion of energy in you, then it will be very easy for you to understand it experientially right now. Just hold your breath for some time, and there is no side effects of doing this activity, but do it and see the difference in your shift in energy and the way your brain and nervous system responds, and you will get the answer to this question. And thereafter I will explain to you all the aspects of this question. Hold your breath. Just inhale, exhale, and then hold your breath. Don't release your hand until and unless you feel that you are not able to breathe and your body is demanding that. Once you do this, you will feel that the next understanding I will give you, first you do it. And keep the breath hold for 5, 10, 15 seconds or more than that, 30 seconds, till the point you feel that the body needs that breath. Inhale, then exhale, then hold. The hold has started. What happened immediately when you kept the breath hold? The body went into a state of deprivation of oxygen and deprivation of prana at the same time. And the CO2 level in the body increased. And our body is not equipped to tolerate CO2 without exchanging oxygen for longer duration. Because CO2 creates excess of CO2 in the body, creates acidity and has lots of other health issues, because the proportion of oxygen and CO2 absorption should be up to the body's requirement. It should not go beyond what the proportion of the body is. But when you stop inhaling, the oxygen supply, you have stopped. The new oxygen supply, the fresh oxygen supply, which is charged with pranic content, has also stopped. And when your body knows that, up to a certain extent, it allows the breath hold, because that is managed by the respiratory centers in the brain. But beyond that point, if you try to hold it, your body again goes into the respiratory, activates the respiratory center that leads to the survival function. Survival function is you need breath to survive. You need that energy to survive. You need prana to survive. You need oxygen to survive. And all these are autonomous in nature. Until and unless you are permanently in your breath hold condition due to your freeze mode, normally the body will activate the respiratory center. The body will activate the respiratory center for your activation of survival mode of the brain. Now, this is managed by your brain. If you are in freeze mode, your amygdala, the peanut size organ in your brain, parts in your brain, that manages the freeze mode. If your body is in constant freeze mode for years, for decades, understand that you have less supply of prana in your total system. And due to the absence of prana, due to the absence of oxygen absorption in your body has permanently gone into freeze mode, because you are not getting your oxygen and prana absorbed by your system. On the physical level, your oxygen is not getting absorbed by your cells, and your cells are not getting the required amount of nutrition, oxygen and water that they need for energy production. Why? It is all cyclical. One leads to the another aspect. And from where Kundalini needs energy to process itself, from where the energy of Kundalini comes to change you, to transform you, it is all coming from extraction of prana from your energy channels, burning it into different process. The prana that is extracted from your whole body, your energy channels, is used as oxygen for the ojas to burn. Ojas is the last element that is produced in your body that leads to the aura strengthening. From the physical level, you can understand ojas as the cell wall of the cells. But ojas is not physical. Just for understanding the way cell wall protects the cell of the body, same way ojas is a protective layer of energy that is created with your body's mechanism at the end of the process of your life processes, including digestion, assimilation, absorption, transformation, creation of new cells, new tissues, new organs, new organ system, and the organism. When all these processes are, the biological process happens in your body, it leads to the transformation of your energy body too. And the quality of energy body is determined by what kind of process you are going through. So, when your ojas that is produced in the end of this biological process, it leads to a protective layer of transparent and invisible energy that is rich in highly electrical charges. The ojas is like clarified butter. The quality of clarified butter, you know, that is called ghee, that is created after the churning of the milk through different process, and at the end the ghee is produced. Similarly, after churning of your all the system, the end product is ojas, and that has the quality of clarified butter in it. And that is the fuel for Kundalini. The original wood, the original fuel is ojas, which is of the quality of clarified butter. That is why if you are going through Kundalini awakening and you have less ojas, I suggest my students, and I myself take it, clarified butter is very useful for creating a good ojas in you. And how to eat it, how to take it, you can take my personal consulting to know based on your body's requirement or based on your Kundalini's requirement. But you need to know that all these are interrelated and interconnected. Only eating clarified butter will not increase ojas. There are many other aspects of creating a good quality of ojas. But since this question is revolving around from where does Kundalini get the energy to change you, she takes from you. She takes from the total life process that is done in the body, the total energetic process that is happening in your life. Kundalini takes all the energy from there. So, whatever food you eat, if you are eating consciously and you are giving your body the high quality of nutrition, then your quality of ojas will be of best quality. Similarly, if you are drinking water consciously, Kundalini needs lot of lubrication in the energy channels. And when you drink lot of water in your physical body, your energy channels are also getting the lubrication of the water energy that you intake. Again, the third aspect, when you go to the equation of how cells produce energy, you will know that on one part of the equation, glucose and oxygen combine together to produce heat. It releases lots of energy, and water and carbon dioxide is separated from it. The water that is released from the cells after this combustion process, after this metabolic process of energy production, goes out of your system through urination, sweat, and other precipitation from the body that happens through different ways. And the stool that is coming out from your body, not the stool, but the carbon dioxide, on the energy level, carbon dioxide is released. That is released again from the body to intake oxygen and to keep the balance in the body. You need to understand the origin of cellular respiration or cellular production of energy. When you understand this, even in a cell, the glucose is the wood, and when it combines with oxygen, oxygen is required, the air is required. Air filled with oxygen is required for anything to burn, for any combustion to happen. And that releases lot of energy and heat, along with wastage in the form of carbon dioxide and water. Same way, when Kundalini is processing in your energy channels, the ojas is the glucose, which is burning. And in the presence of oxygen, the presence of oxygen means prana. All the 5 pranas in your energy channels are combined together or extracted together or brought together at the energy center in the solar plexus region. Prana, apana, samana, vyana and udana. All these types of formations of prana combine together, come towards your center, your solar plexus region, and from here the combustion happens. When it happens, Kundalini actually squeezes your body, your gut region, and that squeezing is done by Kundalini in the form of Keval Kumbhak. Keval Kumbhak means only breath hold, cessation of breath. Keval Kumbhak means the breath is on hold for some time. Why that breath hold is required? Because that creates pressure for the prana to burn the ojas. When the breath hold is of that extent, all the time the combustion is happening, because only when ojas will burn in the presence of prana, tejas will be produced. Tejas means fire, and that fire will lead to the production of energy. The way heat energy is used to create other forms of energy, you can understand it simply in hydroelectric plants. Water energy is transformed into electrical energy. Similarly here, the energy of ojas combined with prana is transformed into tejas, heat energy, and that heat, when generated, creates lot of high quality of cosmic prana in the form of high intensity of energy. The way rocket goes up the fire is burnt. You see a rocket launcher. It is placed on a height. Why it is placed on a height? Because when it is above the ground and fire is burnt in the opposite direction, that fire which is burned at the bottom of the rocket creates lot of heat and pressure, and that pushes the rocket into the space. That leads to the ascension of rocket into the space. Same principle of the law of energy is applicable here. When a rocket is launched, the principle of every action has its equal and opposite reaction is working. The action is pushing the fire, creating the pressure in this direction, and the gravity pushes opposite reaction to it by pushing the rocket into the space. This principle you can see when you bounce a ball also. When you are bouncing a football, the more you want the ball to bounce back, you have to put more pressure towards gravity. So the law of gravity is working in the rocket launching process. Same way, when the fire is burning, ojas is burning, it creates lot of pressure at your root chakra, your sacral chakra, the region of your samana, that is the digestive system where your samana vayu is more prominent. And when this process happens, all the prana that you are intaking goes towards your digestive system region. All the apana, that the function of the apana is to go downward, to go and push the stool and everything to create the pressure in downward motion. But what happens? Your apana is going up, and here this is prana and apana. Samana is circulating here. It keeps on circulating here, but all of these create lot of pressure in this region, and this pressure leads to the ascension of Kundalini, which happens from the tension point in the subtle body. The tension point is the point from where Kundalini moves up, and that is behind the navel in the subtle body. And all the energies from the root chakra, from the sacral chakra, from the solar plexus are uniting together. The Vyana, your combustion is incomplete without extracting the Vyana. When Vyana is coming here in this region, your Udana, which is supposed to go up and which is responsible for your vomiting or throwing away cough or other mucus from the body, that also is disturbed because it also goes towards samana. So all the prana is used by Kundalini to ascend up, and it creates lot of heat in the body, in the energy channels. And when such intensity of heat is created, you get inflammatory conditions in the body, which leads to many physical, mental and energetic symptoms on your body. It affects your brain, your nervous system and all the system in your body due to this combustion process, and it keeps on happening throughout. Now the apana, which was responsible for pushing the stool out, is not actively participating in that process. So what happens? You get other problems. When apana is coming out, it creates lot of heat in your head region and your upper body, and this keeps you disoriented. Your brain cannot process so much of heat generating in your energy channels, and the apana creates smoky layer in your energy field. It makes a muggy kind of condition in your energy field because there is low amount of prana after the combustion process and the volume of apana increases. Why this happens? Go back to the basics. When you are burning something, after the wood is burnt, the smoke is released. The smoke keeps the environment clouded, and that cloudiness leads to your brain fog. Similarly, in your energy channels, the same thing happens. And when all of these happen all the time, what Kundalini is getting? She is getting energy. but she is extracting all the energies from your entire body, from your physical body. You have millions of cells. What is the function of the cell? To produce energy. And all the energy are used in the process of creating ojas. That ojas burns and is converted into tejas, and then tejas is creating the force, push for the kundalini to ascend up like the rocket. So is this the only source of kundalini to get energy, or there are some other sources through which kundalini gets the energy? This was just one aspect, the common aspect that happens in everyone who is going through kundalini awakening, the energetic energy that it gets. Whatever food you eat, whatever, and also the quality of food you eat, the way you eat your food, the way you breathe, the way you drink water, the way you are exposed. If you are in a closed environment, if you are in a closed room, all the combustion process that happens during your kundalini awakening journey will use up all the oxygen supply in the room, and you feel exhausted, tired, because your entire room is now filled with toxicity, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and all the other things that you are releasing in your energy field, and that is getting radiated in your environment. So kundalini is a process where so much of burning is happening all the time. And when you make this process happen in nature, in pranic places, the places where there is high volume of prana, where trees are in abundance, because trees keep on producing oxygen required for kundalini, and that oxygen is filled with prana rich oxygen you get, and that is the most useful fuel for kundalini. So if you expose yourself to nature, if you expose yourself to the energy field where there is high quality of prana, high quality of oxygen, in the open space, in the jungle, in the forest, in the mountains, where there is less population and less pollution, you will get the highest quality of prana. And those prana are used by kundalini to ascend faster, because mostly in the high mountain ranges, like the Himalayas, like the Alps, and all the mountain ranges in the world, you will get the highest quality of prana because of the preservation of prana in that region and the production of prana and oxygen in the nature, which is filled with all the 5 elements of nature. In the hills, in the mountains, in the nature, where there is direct supply of sun energy. Sun is the highest source of pranic energy. The cosmic prana directly flows from the sun. And if you consume that, kundalini needs lot of sun energy. Kundalini needs lot of water energy. So if the river, especially if you are in your spiritual awakening journey, then the Ganga river flowing from Gangotri glacier in the Himalayas is the highest source of energy for kundalini. If you meditate in front of Ganga river with the guidance of the Guru, you will get the highest quality of prana, that is guaranteed. And it is this way only. It is charged, the Ganga river is charged with high quality of divine energies and the water energy with high electric current that is used by kundalini for its processing. This entire process of kundalini awakening journey, if you do in the Himalayas, and that too near the Ganga river, in the nature, in a secluded place, that is the best thing that you will gift yourself and your kundalini for your freedom. So if you want to do the Himalayan sadhana, the Ganga sadhana, then you can consult my team and they can guide you further of how to do your final round of freedom with the Guru in the Himalayan region with the Ganga, and you get all the benefits of the high intensity of energy, high volume and quality of. Because the Himalayan region and the places that I know from my powers are also energy vortex. So if you do, there are many things that are needed by Kundalini to change you, to transform you. And the quality of prana matters the most. Most of my students, I take them to the Himalayas in their last stage of freedom or to do post-enlightenment sadhana. The pre-enlightenment sadhana, the enlightenment and the post-enlightenment sadhana. If someone does it in the Himalayas with the Guru, that is the best thing to happen. And after that, you will never be able to live in the city or congested place. You will always need this high quality of energy field to process Kundalini. And you will know the difference. The moment you step into the region of Himalayas, you will feel that shift in energy happening. Suddenly your Kundalini will start moving. She will start processing, because the moment you cross a certain region where high prana is there in the Himalayas, you get the flow of high quality of prana through your breath, and the total process that I mentioned till now happens very fast. Kundalini gets just kick off that energy that she requires as fuel. It is like you are burning wood, but the wood is wet. It will not burn. But if the wood is dry, in a good way, it is ready to be burnt, then it will burn very fast. Similar is the case with prana. When Kundalini gets this high quality of prana in the mountain region, not only in the Himalayas, let me tell you, the Himalayas have different kind of energy due to the condensation and the concentration of high energy field. It is a huge region, and that is why the energy is too much concentrated there. If it is not possible for you to do the Himalayan sadhana, then at least start with a normal forest, a jungle, or a nature, or a hill, or anything that is ancient, not modernized. The energy remains stored in such places which are ancient, which are not disturbed and distracted by human being. And all these energies work for your freedom. Kundalini is the energy of life. It is everywhere, but it is more functional in the energy vortex. Ultimately, Kundalini gets the fuel to ascend up and become free, meet superconsciousness, and that is the goal of Kundalini. So when you expose yourself to high energetic region, you will feel that Kundalini is shooting up and your process has become faster. Also, Kundalini reclaims all the energies from the mind. The energy that was disintegrated in the mind and was leaking your fuel. Kundalini reclaims all the energy stored in the mind by reclaiming it through karma burning process, through your cleansing process, through chakra cleansing process. Everything is cleansed, everything is transformed. And all the energies that are stored in the mind, in the ego, in the memory, in your beliefs conditioning, in your thoughts, in your sensation, in your emotions, everything is reclaimed by Kundalini. And those reclamation is the charge of Kundalini. Kundalini reclaims all the energy from the body, all the energy from the mind, and all the energy in the spiritual body to unite together and make it into a bomb. It is like an atom bomb which can blast anytime. And that is the blasting that happens during enlightenment. All the energies are concentrated in your head region, and Kundalini has reclaimed all the energy, and now she is ready to be free. And when the Guru comes, after the heart chakra, Kundalini cannot move on her own. She needs the Guru, because Guru has the power to pull from up. Guru is the universal power. Guru has the power to pull Kundalini from this limited self towards the universal power, because Guru is embedded with Shiva and Shakti energy. And that energy is important for Kundalini to rise up more. It is like rescuing Kundalini from this mind-body complex. And that happens very powerfully. And that energy, the final answer to this is, without the Guru, without the power of the Guru, without the energy of the Guru, without the energy of Guru Sanju, this freedom is not possible. Kundalini gets the energy from the divine forces of the universe through the Guru to ascend up. And before that, all the preparation is happening by making use of the fuel in your body, mind and spirit. I hope this discourse opened your eyes towards all the clarity that you needed. Prana is vital for Kundalini. Without prana, Kundalini cannot move up. And it is not prana only through pranayama. If you do certain pranayama, then it is not limited to that. You have to boost your prana beyond pranayama. And that is the real charge of Kundalini. Kundalini needs three things. The last aspect is the semen through which Kundalini gets energy. Semen carries the charge of the life force, and Kundalini takes the charge or the fuel to transform you from the semen. So three things are required for your Kundalini to rise up, to transform you. Prana, Guru's powerful energy, and semen retention. Through semen retention, all the energy that is stored in the semen is transmuted into electrical energy, bioelectrical energy that is received by and reabsorbed by your nervous system. And that leads to the formation of different quality of nervous system through which Kundalini can flow. Your brain rewires in a new way. Kundalini does that work. Kundalini changes your nervous system, your brain functioning. Kundalini dissolves all the old neural pathways and creates a new neural pathway. It builds your nervous system in such a way so that it can download energies from the universal forces and keeps on doing that in your transformation process. That is why you are transformed. You are taking new birth. You are taking new shape through the process of burning your old self into ashes like the phoenix. The phoenix is created. The phoenix is the transformed version. Phoenix is not the old version. The old version has already died. Likewise, Kundalini changes you into a phoenix, and that phoenix is the transformed version of the old you. The old is dead. The old is gone. Your semen, your prana and Guru's power will be used in the transformation of Kundalini, working in you to make you new, and you will be the new individual who will take a new birth, who will be the phoenix. And that is why the Phoenix Project is. If you understand these fundamentals, it will be easier for you to commit for your transformation if you are going through Kundalini awakening. And this is just the beginning. All right. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.